Welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive.
Once again, as I said, to join me in the studio on this cold bitter day here in Wales. So I've only got a few colours. I've only got a few colours. I've got ultramarine blue, some Prussian blue, a small amount of yellow, and some titanium white. That's it. Very, very, very simple. Small selection of brushes that I normally use. We don't have to have loads and loads of brushes, though we do build them up over the years. Okay, so I've got a plan today to actually do some sort of a seascape. Because I thought, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a seascape. Normally this time of year, people will tend to paint snowy scenes and things like that. And I thought, I'm not quite ready for that as yet. So I'm going to do a little seascape today. So as I get ready, I shall be back in a tick. So there we go. I was just finishing a nice cup of coffee there, just to warm the cockles of the heart. So I'm picking up a little bit of kitchen roll. That's down on the base there. As you can see, I've always got a little bit of roll, a paper towel or kitchen roll, whatever you want to call it, down there. I want to try and get a line to come across there. This is just a guide for myself. And that's going to come down like that. And we want this to come in like this. There we go. So we're going to do a crashing wave today. And I want this, as you know, my paintings tend to be very, very painterly. And I quite like that painterly type of effect. I don't like anything too perfect. It really does annoy me when we start doing perfection. I've done a lot of portraits and things like that, and I've been, over the years, I doing pet portraits and things like that. My painting has been so detailed over the years that I've really tried to steer away from that now. I only do that if I really have to, if it's a commission I've got for a pet portrait or something. So I'm mixing a bit of titanium white with a bit of ultramarine blue. Now when I do paintings like this for myself, this is just leisurely painting. I just paint to relax, really. So we're going to put a bit of white, a bit of ultramarine blue together. We're just going to put a bit of that in there like that. There we go. Just nice, easy brush strokes. Then a bit of that canvas colour come back on the background come through. You can see I've used a raw sienna. Instead of raw sienna, I bought a burnt umber with gesso there. This is an old canvas that I've just found actually lying in the back of the easel down by there on the floor somewhere. And I thought, well, I just as well use it up. Why not? We've all got little bits of canvas and cardboard and all this type of stuff just hanging around, I'm sure. A little bit of Prussian blue coming into play now. Just mixing a bit of that in like this, just letting it just merge like that. A bit more. Let's get a bit more in there. Using the edge of the brush just to get a couple of little lines flicking through there like that. It's just changing the colour, changing that look of the paint a bit. Just getting a little bit more Prussian blue in now as we come into this section there. Because we just want to mix the ultramarine blue now and the Prussian blue together. I want to get it a bit darker there like this. Sweeping down. One of the reasons I decided to do this today is because I've just come back from Tenerife, as I've said, and it was a fantastic holiday, and it was a winter holiday. We always go in November because of my day job, because I clean windows for a living. That's what I do. I'm up and down ladders and cleaning people's dirty windows. So the summer is quite a busy time for myself because I've got to make the most of the weather. And there's an old saying, an old farmer saying, that you've got to make the hay while the sun shines, and that is certainly true when it comes to window cleaning. So you've got to make the most of the weather when you've got it, because sometimes you can sit in the house for days without actually getting to work. And this is where my art comes into play and my YouTube comes into play, because I've always got something to do keep me occupied. So I'm just using this colour, just merging it together like that, trying to leave little pinkly strokes. There we go. Just going to leave that as it is for now. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow now over there. A little bit of yellow. I'm going to get a little bit of Prussian blue, some white, a bit more yellow. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for that type of green water effect. The ultramarine blue I got is this ultramarine blue I've got is the bias is slightly towards the green side, believe it or not. It's got a slightly green bias to it. You can get a red bias as well. So I'm just taking the paint off my brush and I'm just flicking a little bit of green here like this. This is a type of painting you can do if you're plein air painting. It's like a little study painting. And you can turn these paintings, as you know, into bigger scale paintings. So they're quite nice to just to play with. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to go to a slightly bigger brush. I need a drink. Just a slightly bigger brush now. Back into this mixture of ultramarine blue, a little bit of Prussian blue, a little bit of white. And I'm just bringing this on an angle like this. Think of a wave crashing. Think of a wave crashing. Doing my throat is really something stuck in my throat. Think of a wave crashing like this. Trying to mix that green and that blue together like this. The waves in Tenerife were wow. They were so vicious. They were really strong. The undercurrent, the water would come in, the wave would come in like this and pull right underneath. My stepson was out in there and he said I couldn't get in. He said I got really scared, and he was quite a good swimmer. And he got really scared, and I thought, well, I'm not going in there. I'm not the best of swimmers. Just blending that. I want a couple of little painty marks. There we go. Just getting that colour in there like that. Just trying to build this wave up. I'm going to increase the ultramarine blue and some white now. Add a bit more white to this. Into some Prussian blue. Prussian blue is a lovely colour. Caress the canvas with the brush. Don't try to paint. It's a difficult thing learning to paint, because we tend to paint, when we're learning, we tend to paint like this, and we tend to push the bristles really hard. And we don't know why the paint isn't working for us. And we get these marks like that. But what you've got to do is make sure the brush is moist, and then try not to use too thick a paint. I don't. Maybe you could. Some artists like it thick. I'm not a thick painting type of artist. And then just use the edge. Just use the very tip of the brush and try and let the brush very, very gently touch the canvas, just letting it caress like this. Letting it caress. Don't try to paint it all at once. Just enjoy the painting process. Just get a multitude of colours in there like this. those paint marks just flip up like this. Don't forget we are painting and underpainting now. This is not what it's going to look like finished. Let's get a bit more of that green on our brush and try and blend that in. What we're doing is when we blend in, we need to put wet onto wet. We need to get wet paint onto wet paint. That's the best way to blend. Just got a touch of yellow. Just brighten that area up a little bit there like that. Think of the tones of the colour and the paint. I'm following a little picture I've got that I took in Tenerife. Oh, we just put that in there like that. There you go. So let's just get some white now. Up there. I haven't cleaned the brush, still got a bit of that green in there. That's okay. Just get a bit of this across the top like this. Blending it all together. Put a little bit here and there. Very gently touching and caressing the canvas as we do this. Again, a bit more white. Putting it down like this. Trying to get all that colour to merge together. The ultramarine blue now. A bit more ultramarine blue now. You can do this. I know you can do this. You need to just practice. This type of painting is not just about getting something to look like a wave crashing. It's not about getting it to look like a sea. You need to practice different techniques. You need to practice brush strokes. And that's what it's all about really, is learning how the paint moves across the canvas and learning how the brush works with the paint that you're using. And once you master that, which takes a long time, I've been painting for 30 odd years, and you know, I know, and I not just myself but other artists can make things look very easy, and they're not easy. It's taking what we can do as artists when we teaching or showing people lessons on YouTube and stuff like that. You've got to remember that when we do paintings in 30 or 40 minutes, we've had 20 or 30 years experience in order to do that. So we draw in on all our experience to get these paintings done. And when, as a beginner, you get frustrated because you can't replicate what we're doing. But you will. You've just got to keep practicing. And that's the thing. It's about practice and consistency and especially when you're trying to talk and paint at the same time. That's not easy either. Okay, let's just get a bit more too much white. Let's put in a bit of colour in. My paint is drying pretty fast because basically I've got the heater on in the studio, and it's causing my paint to just dry a little bit quicker than I would normally like it to dry. But that's okay. We learn, we live, and we adapt. There we go. I'm just going to let that dry. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll put the hairdryer on that and dry that off. Now what we can do is we can get a smaller brush. This is the same one as I started the painting with, actually. So I'm going to get us a bit of white now because we want to make some foam. And then we're just going to use a brush like that between your fingers. Try and use this brush like this. I'll just try and bring in some random type of patterns like this. Very easy type of painting when you've mastered acrylics. You'll wonder why you ever tried using other mediums. Just put a brush across the back like that. How easy is that? How easy is that? You don't have to work hard. All you've got to do is work smart. Let's get a few funny shapes in. No water like this. The key is not to think about what you're doing. It's allowing the brush to make the moves it needs to make. Because these are all random patterns that have got no real shape to them. It's just foam patterns in the water. So the more random you can be, the looser you can be, the more realistic it starts to look. When you bring this, like little edge there, there's a little edge there, you can see that it's washing up and it's twisting. So what we do then is we get a script lining brush. It's a long, thin, pointy brush. And we want to get this paint as thin as is possible. And we just put a few little lines in, like that. Blend with your finger. There you go. Put as many or as few in as you want. We can get a little bit of Prussian blue on the tip of our brush now, because what I want to do is just put a little bit of shadow just here and there, like this. Just to give it a little bit of depth. A bit of lid of this as well. Put a few little lines in. You do as many or as few as you feel you can do. If you want to add a little bit more foam, then what we can do, we can just get a little bit more white and just emphasize a few areas like that. Maybe just go there's a big one there like that. It's a simple little study painting of a crashing wave. There you go. It's as easy as that. Now what I wanted to do now is go along and practice that. It's as simple as I could possibly make it, and I don't mean to say that it's a simple painting in any sake. It's not. It just takes a lot of practice to actually get to that stage. Give it a try. That's all I wanted to do, is give it a try. And if you're not happy with it, try it again and try it again. These little sample paintings are designed to teach you brush skills, blending techniques, how to manipulate the paint, how the paint works with a brush, how it works with different mediums, how it works when it's thin, how it works when it's thick. And that's all I try to do here is show you methods so you can go on to your artwork and become a brilliant artist. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio today. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and please